Hello everyone, this is Real Talk. I'm Charlie.
I'm Med.
And today we have Eray.
Hello.
Did I say that okay?
You did. You said it really well.
Okay.
You even rolled the R a little bit there.
That's what I thought. Is that
Eray.
Eray. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
We're absolutely thrilled to have you. We kind of wanted to start, if it's okay with you, obviously, on TikTok, you're kind of known as like hype up husband.
Yeah.
This is your thing. And we kind of just want you to hype yourself up.
Oh.
Because we always see you hyping up other people.
That's true.
It's a day for everything, darling, because it's your day. Every day is a day to celebrate you, darling.
But I'd love
Oh
to
my
see you
God.
hype yourself up.
I wish you told me this.
Just give the people a bit of a this is
Who I am. Okay,
yeah.
so my name is Eray Beyi, aka Eray Beyi. A comedian stroke content creator. Been doing it properly for the last 5 years, 6 years. But I've been my content creation journey started probably about 10, 12 years ago, back in the day of YouTube. I was doing kind of parody videos back in the day with a mate of mine.
Love that.
So the whole hyping up my wife,
Yeah.
I was doing that on my personal Instagram from since Instagram stories started.
So it's legit, guys. He's not
It
just
was
doing
legit.
it for the views.
So 27, 2018, I was doing it on my own personal Instagram stories. My wife was going out, but I'd film her and I'd be like, oh, she's not out, off out.
Brilliant.
And obviously you get your family and friends laughing and all that. And then I was like, there's a lockdown here when I was making these sketches. Like, well, I've got all this content that I've like batched over the years. Let me just put some of that out there and see what happens. And it just went like wildfire.
People loved it.
Yeah.
You must have
so
ideas
funny.
flowing like constantly through your head. Do you
Always.
like write them down, or do you cut? Or sometimes it's just better to just be like, do you know what? It's right here.
Yeah, I'd say it's a mixture. Like, I do try to write it all down, but the problem is sometimes I come back to my ideas and I'm like, what
is
does
it?
that mean? Cat and a bin bag and a hat. What does that mean?
I
Like,
can't even read your handwriting.
so I've got better at writing down, actually being a bit of context with my kind of ideas. But I try and write down, like with the sketches, even like with this one, I did one last week, where I literally did two. One I just wrote down and rehashed it and re-edited it, and then one I just did off the cuff.
Nice.
And I'm gonna post the one. I posted the one that was off the cuff, and then I'm gonna post the one that's
to see
to
almost.
see and
yeah.
like go, okay, but I did a live show with him as well, so I was taking him to. So I started doing stand up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we wanted to ask about stand-up.
Okay.
So it's something that you've been doing for a while, but you kind of took a break maybe and then came back to it.
It's one of the, I think, as well, being a parent with
Yeah, of
kids
course.
and the best kind of open mic nights are all kind of in London, like Stockwell, places like that. And it's like coming from Essex on a Monday night. It's always quite
Yeah.
tough. But I love getting on stage. So I started doing it about 2 years ago. Started testing it out. Some were great, some were bad. Like
Stand-up scares
Oh,
me. Like, it's like how
got
did
to
you
be
even manage
resilient.
to get on stage the first time?
So they do these things called bringer nights, the open mic nights, where you
Okay.
register your place and you have to bring someone. So the crowd is full of people that are performing and their friends. So, it's a bit more of a warmer crowd.
Right.
Little community, so
Yeah,
everyone has each
everyone
other's
wants
back.
you to do well.
Yeah.
But you still feel it when a joke
Of
doesn't
course,
land, even
yeah.
in that. And I did it the first time. I did it. I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want people like going, "Oh, good luck tonight."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it, and it went really well.
Okay.
And then second time I went, bombed,
Right.
and like the microphone fell apart as I was talking. It was. And I just booked a friend of mine who's another like comedian, actor, who does these shows as this like Greek Cypriot North London mum.
Okay.
And he sells that shows.
Classic.
Yeah.
you know those.
It's the classic, but he sells his like he's amazing. He was like, I want you to come and do open for me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I'm quite new to it. He's like, listen, don't worry, it's a great crowd.
Yeah.
So that's when I went back to this open mic. I thought, well, let me just get a bit of practice. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
bombed, and I was like, what am I doing?
God.
This is a mistake.
When you do stand up, do you obviously have like your jokes and punchline, or do you like incorporate the characters like in that?
So before, like last time I kind of did that, it was pretty much just it's written punchline, like written probably out. So I'm almost reciting it almost.
Yeah.
But like what I realised was when I did that last show with the grandmas, I much preferred being in character and being that character. So then when it came to Juan doing a live show in a restaurant, that was last October.
Yeah.
And I did like a dinner thing. I came out again as me at first, started doing my stand-up, but then I quickly realised people are in a restaurant, they don't want to hear stand-up. I did more of a hosting job. And then when I came out as him, I just felt unleashed. I felt
Yeah.
like I could
Just
ad-lib, I could like...
You've got like a little bit more protection.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it felt like... And I was like, I think this is what I prefer to do, the character, being in the character.
Have you got a favorite character that you like to play? Not in the way of like easy character, but in a way of like you're connected.
Yeah.
And always
Yeah.
Just,
Who's the one that you get most excited about? Like, I can't wait to do a skit about this, like with this character.
I'd say Juan is the one that I love the most.
My God, of all the all-inclusive in all the land, I find you here.
Just because actually I can be a bit more risque with him.
Yeah.
Like he can push the buttons a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like with the live show, with some of the jokes, they were a bit more like, oh, that's a bit rude.
Okay.
And even my wife's like,
Did he just
did not
say that?
just say
you've
that.
been very family friendly, right? Now suddenly this, like, but at least I can be a bit more risque with him.
Yeah,
But I also
yeah.
had another character. So I started off doing the mum character.
Yeah.
It was like an Essex mum.
Love.
And she was almost like Turkish Cypriot as well, so had a bit of that kind of ethnic kind of mum to it, but I love doing her.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit weird.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
over here. But I love portraying her. But she's one that literally, for the last year, I'm like, I need to bring her back. I need to bring her back. But I just love being her. She was a bit more risque. Like, she'd swear and she'd shout her husband and shout her kids and put them down. And
good
stuff.
old Essex mum.
Yeah,
Put 'em
exactly.
down, yeah. You know those Essex mums, their children.
Why are your shoes still in, silly?
One of my favourite sayings is obviously behind every great man is a greater woman.
100%.
And so I want to ask a bit about Ipek and just like, did she always want to get involved? Was it something that like, because obviously you have your family channel as well. So was it something that just developed as it went on and she was like, this is actually really fun?
Yeah.
Or what was the whole kind of her input?
So obviously I started off doing the sketches pre-TikTok.
Yeah.
And she was like obviously very supportive of it. And I think that's the biggest thing. It was like, she was really supportive of
100%.
it. Like, and I think that was it. And I kind of was on holiday in the summer of 2019. I remember and I'm going, I've got this idea for a sketch. Can you film me? She's like, all right. And then the next thing you know, I've wrapped a towel around me, around here, and I put her hat on, and I'm pretending to be a girl on holiday, and she's filming me, and like family and friends are walking past. And she was like, you know what? This
Do
is
it. Yeah,
you do what you
yeah.
wanna do.
I love
Like,
that. I love
I'll
that.
support you. And she's got her own business as well, which and I've always been like really supportive of that. And I think but when it came to TikTok, first she was like, don't put me on there.
Yeah.
In lockdown, she's like, I don't want to be on there.
It's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
Like you are putting your whole personality
But
out
like,
there.
and I was like, come on, just be in this TikTok. It's this new app. She's like, oh, I don't know what is it. What is it? I don't know.
I'm not doing no dances.
Yeah, I don't know. And the first one I did was, I don't know if you remember, there was a thing like, hey, how are you? It's like, you're just basically trying to like get her attention.
Got you.
She was just standing there. Like, you just got to stand there. That's it. Did that. And then she saw almost like how it impacts her business as well. Because she had a
Yeah, of
profile
course.
business. She's like, oh, this is the way forward. You've got to put yourself out there and be on it, like, and actually show yourself more.
Yeah.
So it kind of just evolved a bit more. And then she realized, actually, this is suddenly a new way of life.
Yeah.
Profession.
Yeah.
So then we kind of launched the family page and then went from there. So yeah, she's been, it took her a bit to come around, but then once she did, she's in.
Yeah, it's a very like intimidating thing, I think, with TikTok, because like it can be so amazing and like open up so many doors, but at the same time, like you're putting your family, you're putting your life on the internet, which obviously can be really scary.
100%.
And yeah, it's so funny though, because people, it's kind of a bit, TikTok is a bit like a social experiment. People just love to see normal, everyday lives. Like they want to see what you're having for dinner and like what you're eating like around the dinner table, and it's so interesting.
Well, and you can tell a lot as well, actually, because a lot of brands are now using like UGC, so just making less productive adverts into like just someone talking about it in front. So I think it really does kind of, because it makes it more personal.
When I started doing the content creation, I had this kind of thing in my head, was like, if I get one like, my job is done.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's like, I've made one person enjoy that enough to get like, and do you know what? I've changed someone's day. I've made someone happy for a moment.
Yeah.
That's so
all it's
good
about.
though. Like seeing people with like laughing face emoji in your comments.
Exactly.
Like, that's such a good feeling, isn't
Yeah,
it?
or even just shares. Like I always find it crazy when like someone will share a video of me and I'll be like, oh my God, I love that person. Or you like have that connection. Like it sounds so, obviously social media, people love to like batter content creators and make it out like it's not a real job, or make out like, oh, you're doing it for clout, etc., whatever negative connotation they want to come up with. I do think that there's so much that goes into it, and it also does like objectively bring a lot of happiness and light to other people, which at the end of the day, it's like not a lot of jobs do. Who was like your like comedy icon when you were growing up? Like who was the person that you were like, that's my...
Good question.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
I think there's probably
Thank you.
two growing up for me. Robin Williams.
Okay.
Has
The
to
king.
be.
Like from
Has to
day
be.
one, like Robin Williams all the way. Sometimes I get the comments, oh, it's like missed out for, and I get so happy when I'm like,
There's just something about him that's like sparkle in his eye.
you can see it even with like Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Like that kind of serious, but you can see the moments.
Yeah.
he knows how to do that. But yeah, Miss Doubtfire, I'd say like, I mean, anything with him.
Jumanji as well.
That was the film that I had on tape constantly, just watching the same stuff over and over.
Oh, yeah.
Love that film.
I'd say him and Jim Carrey.
Yes.
He's the other one that I remember.
Jim Carrey,
like Ace Ventura, Mask, Dumb and Dumber. I remember like, sitting in my mirror, just practicing, trying to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon. Bye.
See ya.